Greetings. This video is about the International Space Station and how it communicates with the Johnson Space Center. How is it able to communicate thousands of miles away from the Johnson Space Center? Well, it isn't as simple as you think it is. There are a lot of components in order for the communication to even happen. Jeffery and Williams, as part of the Johnson Space Center Oral History Project, says, "I think it's easy to argue that it is the most complex technological achievement of mankind ever. And there are several aspects to that. There are different components to get information in and out. There is the ground station, which has a radio transmitter and receiver. The relay satellites, which relays data across multiple satellites. And the ham radios on board the ISS. There is also the Space-to-Space Communication System, or SSCS, which helps enhance the reliability of data transfer between the ground station and the ISS. First, we will talk about the SSCS, and then we will talk about ham radio. A case study released by NASA's Academy of Program and Engineering Leadership found the Space-to-Space Communication System, or SSCS, is a sophisticated two-way data communication system designed to provide voice and telemetry among three on-orbit systems: the Space Shuttle Orbiter, the International Space Station, and the Extravehicular Activity Mobility Unit. These systems are important for the communication to the ground stations the world over. Mission Control needs to know about the status of the space station to check on the safety of the astronauts and to make sure the scientific instruments are running optimally. Here is the figure from the SSCS study from NASA. The figure shows the diagram of the components and how they function. NASA says the SSCS allows vehicles in close proximity to communicate voice, commands, and telemetry via a radio frequency link. Each space vehicle utilizing the SSCS provides control, data, voice, and power cabling as applicable. These cables are not considered part of the SSCS. This system is important because it allows the space station and mission control to be in constant communication with each other. It is especially important when it comes to emergency situations, like medical emergencies that may require the crew to be in contact with remote doctors. They might also have mechanical failure on the space station, which requires guidance from technicians in order to repair it. It also allows the astronauts to be in contact with their families and friends in case they get homesick. In this video from NASA, we see the astronaut explaining how the ham radio works.
Welcome aboard. It's a pleasure to have you aboard today, and I wanted to show you a little bit about our ham radio operations. And tonight, you're in for a real treat. We're getting ready to have a pass over North America, and the ham radio is located in the Russian service module, which is the aft part of the space station. I think you'll really enjoy this, so come on along. We're coming into the to Node 1 out of the airlock, and we'll head down to the Russian service module, down to the aft end of the space station. And here's the ham radio, just on the starboard wall of the space station, located here. And of course, the antenna is outside. We've got a pretty powerful transmitter and receiver as well. Okay, we're here in the service module of the Russian segment, and this is the command post of the space station. We're going to go ahead and turn on the ham radio, and I'll have the microphone sort of near the speaker so you can hear the calls coming in. Again, we're November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, or NA1SS, and we're coming up on the Oregon coast now, and we'll go ahead and turn the radio on, and I'll let you listen to our transmissions as we go over the U.S.
That's NA1SS, NA1SS.
You can hear the calls come. This is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, the International Space Station, over.
NA1SS.
You can,
CRAIG, and we've talked before, and I was hoping to catch you before you go home there.
I got a call from Craig. And Craig, say your call sign again, please.
Yeah, November.
The ham radio is older than current technologies, but it is nice to have. People have been using ham radio to communicate over long distances since the 1980s. It is important for the astronauts to be able to use the radio for emergencies and other updates. Williams says about his experience with the space station. The ground always is in communication, and they always are getting the telemetry down to the ground. and they're able to send up commands to the system. This helps keep people on the ISS safe. Thanks for watching.